Hey everybody, this is Pramita here, and this is the second part of the pocket that I was making, and I have nearly completed everything. I just have to put a few things which I thought that I would walk you through. So if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, then please do, and you will see a lot of tutorials and craft with me sort of thing. So I have been working with a kit from Artemis. Spring has arrived, but I thought that I would not make it as a season specific, and it can be used in any season of the year basically. So what I've done is I have used the kit and made a journal, and what I thought was I would add a pocket page marker / raggedy sort of thing, collage pocket. So this is what I've come up with. So initially what I did was I used a craft cardstock, and I had collaged a lot of stuff on them, and then when it dried I went back with my sewing machine, and did some random stitching just to give it a 4-stitched kind of look. I did talk about 4-stitching. So what is 4-stitching? I just stitch just to give that look, but that doesn't mean I'm going to stitch the whole thing. So I cannot stitch this because this has a gusset sort of thing over here, a hinge, as you can see. So this is going to give me a lot of room inside. So what I did was I gave it a stitch even before I glue this down. So I'll have to glue this, but before that I just did some stitching. I hope it makes sense. So what I've done is I've stitched around. I've added some leaf trim that I had, some die cuts, and this was from the kit. And what I've done is I've just added some jute twine. I hope you can see it, just so that they look like, the what do you call it, the butterfly, the front part of the butterfly. And here I've done the same, and I need to add a few more stuff, so I thought I would take you along and show you how I'm going to do that. So let's start with that. So I have a few things with me which I need to add. First of all, I'm going to need a few bling as usual, and I'm also going to add a charm, but something of an interest. So what I'm going to do is I have this garment pin, like so, and I'm going to add this tag. This was in a die cut from Kaiser Craft, and I often use things like that in my journal just to give it a extra pop sort of thing. So I'm just moving things around very randomly. So this is antique linen. This is not vintage photo because I don't want this to be very grungy, and I'm just taking this and just inking up the edges. Now I like antique photo because antique linen because sometimes we don't want a very grungy look. So in that case, the antique linen works best. And just a little bit, just a hint sort of thing. So that's how it is. So now I have that ready and I can put it there. So I also can, so I'm going to string, I'm going to just put it through this hole. Yeah, so I'm going to just put it through this hole and string it somewhere here. So I'm going to put it here so that it hangs around a little bit, like so. And I'm also going to add a little bit of these blingy sort of thing, if you can see. I'm going to glue these over the butterfly, and one over here, just to give them a little bit of extra, you know, an extra little sort of thing. I'm also going to add a few buttons, and that will come last. So I'm going to add this. So this is actually Tombow Mono. This is a fairly strong glue, and it adheres very nicely. It's available in India, so that's what I go for. And because it dries very quickly, and it's not as expensive as Fabri-Tac, perhaps, because Fabri-Tac is not available in India, and if I have to bring it from anywhere else, it becomes very expensive. So I'm just, as you can see, I'm just putting these down, and these will dry eventually, and I'm not going to do anything to it right now. And I also have 3 buttons that I'm going to use, maybe somewhere over here. So I'm going to put them. I have not decided where I'm going to put, so I'm going to do a little bit of math maybe. And maybe, I don't know, I need to fix them in a line. So maybe I'm going to put them like so. So I'm just trying to bring out the colors that are there in the papers so that they look a little bit cohesive. So I'm just going to put a dab of glue and put this down. So that's that, and this is going to be the next one. I hope I'm visible. And this is just what I'm going to do, nothing else, so that when it dries, I'll just yeah. So when it dries, it's going to look okay. Just trying to line things up. It's difficult because the glue keeps on moving if you are not very careful. Okay. So it seems, and these buttons are really tiny and I can't seem to get a grip over them, it seems. It's okay. So that's how they are looking. I think it's looking good. And this is how they are looking. And now the only thing I need to do is, they are not lined up. They are not lined up. Yeah. So now the only thing I need to do is glue the flaps, you know. So, and then this is done. So at the back you can see what I have done. It's all zigzag all around. So, but when I glue this part up, you will see nothing is visible. So I'm just going to glue this part up, opening this up, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue this. I'm going to put some glue on the flap, and fold this very carefully so that I don't mess up. Okay, so I need a tissue paper. So the only thing I have to do is now hold this a little bit so that the folder takes shape. And I thought this is just going to be an update basically, because the main structure, and you can do it with anything. You can do it with fabric, you can do it with without the lace or only with lace, whatever. So but this needs to be held down a little bit so that it's glued properly and doesn't come off. So I just have to push this. Yeah, so I just have to push this a little bit more. So because this is a very thick cardstock, and I don't know why this craft cardstock doesn't take glue very well, maybe because of the texture. So I just need to put a little bit more over here. That's okay. So what I've done is I've just added lots of trims, laces, bits and pieces, fabric, and some from Edith Holden book page, and whatever I had basically I just used it. And I've just run these through the machine, and like these have been collaged, and I have sealed them, and then I have run my machine. So I had to let it dry for a day basically, because otherwise my machine is going to be machine needle is going to be all gunked up, and I don't want that. So that's that, and I think now it's okay. So now we move on to the next part. So this part. So this part I have to put the glue on, and then I'm going to squeeze it shut. So I hope you can see it. I'm just putting some glue. Yeah. So, and I'm going to close this very carefully so that I don't mess up. And I'm just going to push it. And you have to keep on pushing, because this cardstock is pretty thick. And the thicker the paper is, the more difficult it is to glue, takes a while. But it will do eventually. So I kind of like the way things have shaped up, and I'm really happy. But needs to be held on to more. So you have to push this a little bit, because I'm using a thicker cardstock, but of course you can use anything for that matter. But a thicker cardstock will give it more stability, and that's what I would like. So this is how your page mark is looking, and I think it's looking pretty good. This is somewhat on the lines of lace raggedy, but it's not entirely so. And there will be a few more new listings. Some of the journals that I had made a while back, and I didn't list them, and I just need to do that. So I'm going to list those. Some ephemera packs are also there, so you can check them out. And I'm planning on making some things like this also, like a pack of 2 pockets like this with a few ephemera pieces and a simple journal. So I might do that also. it's in the pipeline, but you know, when time is very short, it's very difficult to get everything that you have planned done. So here you have your pocket. As you can see, it's pretty big, and here you have your stuff all glued down. This one is still a little bit wet, and it will need a little bit time, so it's going to be hanging like that. And when I just bumped against the camera, and this one has come up because this is still wet. I need to fix this a little bit more. Okay, so, and when this goes, I just want to show you, and when this goes into the page, this is like a lace raggedy of sorts, and it's going to be hanging like this, and it's going to be like this. And here you have a pocket, so you can put something in. I hope I can show you. Okay, so let me put something in. So you can put something over here. It's a tiny pocket, and I think it has turned out pretty well. A lot of thought and planning has gone into this, so I hope the people who get it like it. So bye for now. Thank you for watching, and if you want to see more of these kind of videos, then please subscribe to my channel and watch me make more of these kind. Thank you everybody. Bye. Have a great day.